Welcome to a world where fear reigns supreme. In the shadows of the unknown, whispers of terror await. Join us as we journey into the chilling abyss of the supernatural, where every creak and flicker heralds the presence of something sinister. Brace yourselves for a plunge into unimaginable horror.
I'm not one to believe in ghosts, and there is a lot of other people that are just as skeptic as I am. But I had a few occasions that made me wonder. I'll share one of my stories, and I would love to know what you think about it, and if you may have answers. I have a close family member that states she can see the dead. She describes it as visions, where she would see deceased people roaming around. To believe you have a gift like that kind of freaks me out. I don't know what my mom was thinking, but for some reason she asked her one day if she sees anything in our house. I wish she said nothing, but she answered with yes, but she's not clear to what it is. Fast forward to about 2 months later. My dad wakes up at 5 in the morning every day for work, where at 6 in the morning he would wake us up for school. But this specific morning, it wasn't him that woke us up. Police lights filled the air, followed by loud talking. Walking out my room, down my hallway, I called for my dad. He answered and said to come to the living room. I found him standing with 2 police officers, writing down the things my dad said. Scared, I asked him what is going on. After the police officers left, he explained to me the most bizarre story. He woke up to all the lights in the house turned on, as well as the TV in the living room. His first thought was that I woke up early and did it myself, but when he got to my room, I was sound asleep. Our entrance to the house is a door, but with a fence in front of it that needs a special key to be opened. When he got to the living room, the front door was wide open, but the fence was still shut. But you can't open the door from the outside by not unlocking the fence. But the weirdest thing of all was there was a pot of boiling water on our stove. I don't even know how to work with the stove, so it could not have been me. My dad and mom swears it wasn't them. There was no sign of any entries that could have been made in the house. All the windows was locked from the inside, and we only have one door. To this day, nothing was made of the situation, and I'm still freaked out by this. As I was a kid, it happened occasionally that during the night, when I was lying in my bed, in my room, I could feel a very intensive presence watching me. It was a rather rare event, maybe a few times in a year. And when I could feel it, usually when I woke up randomly at night from it, I just kept my eyes closed and tried to ignore it until it either vanished or I fell back asleep. It did not feel like anything benevolent, definitely more on the evil side of things. Well, as I got older, I felt that my behavior was kind of silly. Hence, I decided that I should confront this weird fear. As I got the feeling the next time, I confronted the presence by just opening my eyes and saying loudly a friendly, "Hello." Big mistake. The presence got by orders of magnitude more intense than it had ever been before, and my memories of the event start to get messy from there on, because I know that at the start of it, I was absolutely 100% awake. I know this because I did my lucid dreaming check, looking at the alarm clock twice and confirming that the time it shows does stay consistent and does not randomly change. When you are dreaming written text, and numbers always change when you look away briefly. I also know that in the end, I was definitely 100% asleep. I was in a bright room with a relative, a cousine of mine, sitting on the bed and berating me to never again do something so stupid as speaking to it. I later wrote her on WhatsApp just to check if she maybe also met me in her dream or something like this, but no. However, I have no idea when, in between these two events, I fell asleep. I think I remember that immediately after doing the alarm clock check, I stood up to just leave my room, pretty much in a panic. As I tried this, dozens of shadow hands broke through the floor and tried to catch me. I think successfully, but I really cannot remember this part. Logically, I must have fallen asleep between my lucid dreaming check and this, but there was no time in between. This is about all that I remember. I have written down some of this experience, but will have to look for my notes. I also doubt that they contain much more specific information than what I wrote here. Anyways, after this last, extreme experience, I never talked to the Watcher again. I also did not experience it again for several years now, since I am not anymore living with my parents, and it only ever happened in that old room of mine.